Alright, this brief video is on subtracting integers using the number line, and we're also going to discuss how and show how to use the additive inverse. For our purpose today, we're just going to define these terms as follows. Absolute value, the value of a number without the positive or negative sign. So basically the positive value of a number if it's negative, and the actual number if it's positive. Additive inverse is also known as the opposite number sign applied when subtracting integers. One changes the subtraction sign to addition and changes the sign of the number that follows. For example, 6 minus 2 equals 6 plus a negative 2. The additive inverse of any number is the opposite sign of that number. 5 and negative 5 are additive inverses of each other. Here you see a number line. We don't immediately know the value of x and p. How can we subtract the absolute value of x from p by just using the number line? Well, each black vertical line is one equal space from the one next to it. From x to p or p to x, depending on whether you count from left to right or right to left, there are 5 equal spaces. 5 equal spaces in between those 2 points. Therefore, the absolute value, written as you see here, x minus p in between 2 vertical black lines, or p minus x in between 2 vertical black lines, is equal to 5, because there's 5 spaces in between those 2 points. So we know that the difference is going to be 5. We just don't know what the sign of the number is going to be. So now we can see what x and p actually stand for, what their values are. You can see that the value of x is negative 2, and that the value of p is 3. The rule for subtracting integers is to add the opposite sign of the number that follows. So you see that x, negative 2, minus p, 3, is equivalent to minus 2 plus the additive inverse, minus 3. A negative plus a negative equals a negative, hence negative 5 is the sum. Now let's go the other direction. 3 minus a minus 2 equals 3 plus the additive inverse of negative 2 is 2. So now we have 3 plus 2. A positive plus a positive equals a positive, hence 5 is the sum here. So what you see here is that we were already able to determine that the actual value was going to be 5. The only thing we didn't know was the sign. But we got the value 5 from just counting the space, which is the absolute value, in between those 2 points. And we found that there were 5 spaces. Let's try something else. Given points x and p on this number line, what would the sign of the difference x minus p be? Well, something we can figure out is x and p are both negative. We also know that x is smaller than p based on its location on the number line. It's to the left of p. As you go further to the left, the numbers get smaller. So, being that they're both negative, a negative minus a negative is changed to a negative plus the opposite, a positive. Since x is smaller than p, and since they are opposite signs, we would subtract their absolute values and use the sign of the larger number p as the sign plus of the difference. Let's try this one. So now we have x and p on the number line as you see here, and we're trying to figure out what would the sign of the difference p minus x be. Well, x is negative, it's to the left of 0, and p is positive, it's to the right of 0. X is smaller than p based on its location to the left of p. a positive, meaning a p, positive, minus a negative, minus x, that's what we have here, p minus x, gets changed to a positive plus a positive. Remember, we're going to change the operator from subtraction to addition, and then we're going to add the opposite sign of whatever x happens to be. So now x is positive. Since x and p are now both positive, we add the numbers together and find that the sum is a positive number. Why? Because a positive plus a positive is a positive. Okay, this ends the little video on subtracting rational numbers on the number line using the absolute value and also the additive inverse. Enjoy the activity.